Well, this past week, I had the opportunity to speak at the winter meeting of the Republican National Committee meeting in Washington. Our party stands for the recognition of the equality of women and the capacity of women. That's not a war on them, it's a war for them. And if the Democrats want to insult the women of America by making them believe that they are helpless without Uncle Sugar coming in and providing for them a prescription each month for birth control because they cannot control their libido or their reproductive system without the help of the government, then so be it. Let us take that discussion all across America, because women are far more than the Democrats have played them to be. We've heard the mainstream media's reaction to my comments, so how do millennials feel about what I said? Joining me today, Francesca Chambers, editor of Red Alert Politics. Shaaya Ellis, he's a junior studying political science at the University of Notre Dame. And Kayleigh McEnany, editor of Political Prospect. Well, guys, it's great to have all of you here. Francesca, let me just get right underway with you. You're a female, you're a millennial. How much government do you need?
Well, first, I want to respond to what you said in the monologue and point out that, you know, when Sarah Silverman gets up and does a live telethon for abortion, she gets up there and she raffles off a vagina napkin. It barely makes a blip in the national media. But you get up there and say the word libido, and all of a sudden it's a national story. And so I'm continually frustrated by the hypocrisy of the media.
Yeah, I didn't think that it was such a, I don't see it as a vulgar thing at all. It's a God-given gift to human beings. Before I go to Shaaya, I want to get another female voice in here. Kayleigh, when you hear Democrats say that, you know, women are going to have help with such things as birth control pills, I don't care if they get them, but I don't think women should feel complimented that they have been reduced to that as their only goal.
Governor, you hit the nail on the head, and I applaud your courage for saying what you said. The fact is, for the Democrats, the definition of an independent woman is one who demands the right to terminate her child before it's born. The fact is the Democratic Party paints an independent woman as one who wants to stipend her sexual behavior with government funds. That is not an independent woman. That, by definition, is a dependent woman. And the war on women is being waged by the Democratic Party. It's a covert war to paint women as victims in need of government assistance. I will not be a victim. Francesca, I'm sure, agrees.
Well, Shaaya, I'm going to just throw it out there. I mean, you're a guy. I don't know if we have an opinion on this. Even though I found out I did, it wasn't very popular. So go ahead. Step in the hole with me here, my friend.
Step in the hole with you, Governor.
Come on.
Given how controversial that this topic is, I wouldn't have gone with the word libido. I would have said something more along the lines of women are more than what the Democrats make them out to be. Women are more than the choices they make. You know, there are mothers, there are daughters, there are aunts, there are nieces and nephews, and everyone should seek to treat women with dignity, with respect, and equality.
Well, you know what? I wish you'd been around last week. Maybe you could have advised me and protected me from some of the stuff that I found myself in the middle of. All right, you know, millennials were a key demographic in both of Barack Obama's presidential campaigns. I'm going to find out, how do they feel about his latest push for class warfare, the whole issue of income inequality. More with our panel when we come back. Stay with us. Well, a big theme of the State of the Union address is expected to be the president's message of income inequality. We're back with our Millennials panel. I'm going to start with Kayleigh McEnany. By the way, Kayleigh once worked for our show. We're so happy to have her back, and she's now a law student down at University of Miami. Kayleigh, great to see you today.
Thank you.
President's message, he says, is going to be income inequality. He wants to work on that this year. What's wrong with that?
You know, for millennials, it's hard to care about income inequality when they don't have income. 16% of millennials are unemployed. This is a picture of Obama's America. 1/3 of millennials are living at home with their parents. Median household income in 1990 was $27,000 for a millennial household. It's $6,000 now. This is Obama's America, where we're seeing mass unemployment. We're seeing health care premiums for a millennial are 3 times what they were last year. Millennials are suffering. They're hurting. They are the poor. They are the income inequality. It's the millennial generation. And quite frankly, they're not buying the president's message anymore. They're just not. He's full of broken promises, and we're going to hear more of those broken promises.
Shaaya, the president has long said, and frankly we all have, that a college education was a ticket to a better future, a better income, a better life. Now people are coming out of college, they can't get a job, they've got this huge debt. What would you like to see policies changed that would help you as a millennial look out there at the future and say, I got a shot?
I'd be optimistic of the future if we saw regulation, if regulation wasn't introduced for regulation's sake. You know, we're just going to regulate this industry just because. Now, I'd like to see the Democratic Senate take up some of the Republicans' House jobs bill. That would be a really good start.
What specifically about that bill do you like and you think would help you?
I would be very happy with the tax cuts in the jobs bill. Tax cuts spurs jobs growth, and millennials are going back to home living with their parents, and they're really not seeing the jobs, or they're unemployed or underemployed, and that could really help out.
Francesca, let's just ask you about this whole income inequality issue. Does it concern you that we're creating almost this division in America between the haves and the have-nots? I mean, there is a division. I think there is income inequality. What could or should the government do to address the fact that there are so many people working harder, but they're not getting ahead?
Well, I think you have to look at education reform first and foremost at the lower level, introducing school choice so that smart young people can go to schools in their area that are best for them, but also those children who might need a little bit more help can go to the schools that are best for them as well. That's number one. And then those kids will be able to get scholarships if they're going to the schools that are right for them to public universities. Number two, once they get to those universities, as you just mentioned before, that they're graduating with large loads of debt. And the big thing at the higher education level is that what we're going to have to do in order to make sure that those kids are not burdened by that debt and then they can buy houses and whatnot throughout the rest of their lifetime, that the government is more transparent. The government runs the public universities, is more transparent with what you're getting for that degree. If you're going to go to university, you should be able to see how many other people in that field got jobs, the percentages, how many people in the field overall, and how many people at your university were able to get jobs.
I'm going to just ask you, because we're out of time, but real quickly, give me one topic you want the president to address. Don't have to tell me anything, just the topic. Kayleigh, what is it?
The absolute disaster that is Obamacare and how he plans to fix it.
I wouldn't expect it, but I agree. Okay, Shaaya?
The persistent unemployment that's gripped this nation since his inauguration in 2009.
Excellent. Francesca?
Sticking with the higher education theme, instead of focusing on getting more low-income students into college, I'd like to see him focus on making college more affordable for those low-income students.
Great answers. Great panel. I think all of you guys ought to run for Congress. You know what? I think you could do a lot better than some of the stuff we got going on right now. Thank you very much, Kayleigh and Shaaya and Francesca. Great to see you all. Well, unlike Barack Obama, action star Steven Seagal has a good relationship with Russia's president. I'm going to be talking to him about the threat of terrorism in next month's Olympics a little later in the show. But first, why am I sticking up for Scarlett Johansson? Well, you'll find out when we come back.